The Montgomery estate glowed like a postcard that Christmas Eve. Every window blazed with warm light. Garlands wrapped around columns. A 12-foot tree stood in the entrance hall, dripping with ornaments that cost more than most people's rent. I stood at the door with a gift bag in each hand, watching my breath cloud in the cold air. My fingers were numb, not from the temperature, from knowing what waited inside. I'm Caroline Montgomery, or I was. Now I'm Caroline Vance, but the people behind that door didn't know that. They didn't want to know. For 28 years, I'd been the spare daughter in this family, the one who didn't quite shine bright enough, the one whose achievements were footnotes to my sister's headlines. And tonight, I was about to change everything. The door swung open before I could knock. My mother stood there in a cream silk dress, pearls at her throat, her smile as polished and cold as the marble floor beneath her heels. Caroline, you're late. Traffic was heavy, I said. It wasn't. I'd sat in my car at the end of the driveway for 15 minutes, preparing myself. She stepped aside without a word. I walked into the warmth and the scent of pine and cinnamon. My father appeared from the living room, drink in hand, his eyes sliding over me with that familiar assessment, not measuring my worth, confirming my lack of it. There she is, the career woman. His tone made it sound like an insult. Hi, Dad. My sister Bella descended the staircase like she was walking a runway. Red dress, perfect hair, diamond earrings catching the light. She'd always known how to make an entrance, how to take up all the air in a room and leave none for anyone else. Caroline, she kissed the air beside my cheek. You look tired. Are you sleeping enough? Before I could answer, my mother ushered us into the living room. The tree dominated the space. Presents were stacked beneath it in coordinated wrapping paper, silver and gold. Everything in this house was coordinated, controlled, including me. For most of my life, let's do gifts before dinner, my mother announced, settling onto the sofa beside my father. Bella perched on the arm of a chair, crossing her legs, her smile sharp and expectant. I sat in the chair farthest from the tree, the one I always sat in, the corner spot where I could be forgotten. My father handed out packages with the efficiency of a man checking items off a list. Bella received a jewelry box from Tiffany's. My mother unwrapped a spa weekend in Napa. I watched them exclaim and thank each other. The ritual of a family that looked perfect from the outside. Then my mother handed me a small wrapped box. The paper was different from the others, cheaper, like an afterthought. For you, dear. I peeled back the paper slowly. Inside was a membership card. Last Chance Love, a dating app for women over 25. The tagline was printed in cheerful pink letters. My hands went cold. We thought you might need a little help, my mother said, her voice dripping with false concern. You're not getting any younger, and meeting someone the traditional way doesn't seem to be working for you. Bella's laugh was light and cruel. It's never too late to try, Caroline. Even if you're starting from scratch. My father handed me another package. Heavier this time. I unwrapped it mechanically. A book. How to Find Happiness When You Die Alone. A guide for the perpetually single. The room went very quiet. I stared at the cover. A cartoon woman sitting alone with a cat. The silence stretched until it hurt. We're just worried about you, my mother said, filling the void. You spend all your time working. You never talk about anyone. We want you to be happy, like Bella, my father added, raising his glass toward my sister. She's getting married in the spring. To Preston Sterling. The Sterlings. Caroline. Do you understand what that means for this family? I understood. Preston's father, Harrison Sterling, owned half the commercial real estate in the state. Bella wasn't just getting married. She was sealing a merger. Bella leaned forward, her smile softening into something that might have looked like sympathy to anyone who didn't know her. Caroline, I know it's hard watching me plan my wedding while you're still looking, but your person is out there. You just have to keep trying. Something inside me cracked. Not broke, cracked, like ice on a frozen lake when the temperature finally shifts. When's your turn? My mother asked, her head tilting, her eyes full of pity I didn't need or want. When will you bring someone home? When will we plan your wedding? I looked at each of them. My father, already half turned toward his phone. My mother, waiting for me to crumble or apologize or disappear into my corner. Bella, glowing with triumph, savoring this moment she'd orchestrated. I'd spent 8 months running from this. 8 months building a new life in a different city with a man who actually saw me. 8 months trying to convince myself I could just walk away and never look back. But you can't run from a wound that hasn't healed. You can't move forward when part of you is still trapped in a room where people gift you loneliness like it's a kindness. I set the book down on the coffee table, carefully, precisely, like I was placing an explosive. It already happened. The words came out steady, clear. My mother blinked. My father's head turned. Bella's smile froze. What already happened? My mother asked, my wedding, my turn. It already happened. The silence this time was different, heavier, confused. My father leaned forward. What are you talking about? I got married 8 months ago, April 26th. I pulled my phone from my purse and held up my left hand, showing the simple gold band I'd been hiding under a work glove in my car. His name is Nate Vance. He's a structural engineer. We have a house in Portland. We've been together for 2 years. My mother's face went pale. That's not funny, Caroline. It's not a joke. Bella laughed, but it sounded forced now, uncertain. You're lying. You didn't get married. We would have known. We would have been invited. You were invited. I kept my voice level, even as my heart hammered against my ribs. All of you. I sent invitations, saved the dates, emails, texts. You ignored every single one. My father stood abruptly. Enough. If you'd actually gotten married, we would have heard about it. This is ridiculous. Some kind of breakdown. I have proof. I pulled up the photos on my phone. Me in a simple white dress. Nate in a gray suit. The courthouse steps. Our small gathering of friends. My hands were shaking now, but I forced them still. I passed the phone to my mother. She stared at the screen like it was showing her something impossible. This can't be real, she whispered. It is. Bella snatched the phone from my mother's hands, scrolling through the images, her expression shifting from disbelief to something sharper. Panic maybe. Or calculation. Why wouldn't you tell us? My mother asked, her voice rising. Why would you do this without your family? I tried to tell you. You didn't want to hear it. That's absurd, my father snapped. We would have come. We would have been there. I felt the crack widen, the ice breaking apart. I'd been preparing for this moment for months, gathering evidence, setting the stage. Not because I wanted revenge, because I needed them to see, to acknowledge, to admit what they'd done. I turned to Bella. Do you remember April 20th? 6 days before my wedding. Her face went carefully blank. I don't know what you're talking about. A package was delivered here, to the estate. Wedding invitations, 25 of them, cream cardstock, calligraphy addressing. You signed for them. My mother frowned. I never received any invitations. I know. I looked at Bella, her jaw tightened. Because Bella never gave them to you. She took them and threw them away. You're insane, Bella hissed. I pulled up the next piece of evidence. A screenshot of a FedEx delivery confirmation. April 20th. Signed by Bella Montgomery. I passed my phone back to my mother. That doesn't prove anything, Bella said quickly. Maybe I thought it was something else. Maybe I forgot. You didn't forget. I opened my email and pulled up another screenshot. You also set up a filter on Mom's email. Any message from me containing the words wedding, married, or Nate was automatically deleted. You did it from her laptop while she was at her book club. March 15th, my mother grabbed the phone again, staring at the email settings screenshot. Her hands were trembling. Bella, what is this? She's making it up, Bella said, but her voice was losing its confidence. She's trying to ruin my engagement. She's jealous. I'm not making it up. I looked past them, toward the hallway. I'd sent Nate a text when I walked into the house. One word, go. He was in his car 2 blocks away with a laptop, accessing the Montgomery Estate's security system. Not hacking. I'd installed it 3 years ago, when my father asked me to design the smart home integration for his renovation. I'd built the system. I still had administrative access. Bella threw away my invitations, I said slowly, clearly, and I can prove it. How? My father demanded. Because every security camera on this property is networked. Every angle, every timestamp, cloud storage, accessible remotely. And I have the footage. Bella's face went white. I pulled up the video file Nate had just sent me. April 20th. Exterior camera, driveway angle. I hit play. The footage was clear. Bella walking down the driveway in yoga pants and a sweatshirt, a FedEx envelope in her hands. She looked around, checking to see if anyone was watching. Then she walked to the recycling bin at the side of the house, opened it, and dropped the envelope inside. She pressed it down, covering it with newspapers. Then she closed the lid and walked back into the house. I let the video play twice. No one spoke up. My mother's voice cracked. Bella, why would you do this? Bella's composure shattered. Because she doesn't deserve a wedding. She doesn't deserve any of this. She's nobody. She's always been nobody. I'm the one who matters. I'm the one who's supposed to get married. Not her. The words hung in the air, naked and brutal. My father's face hardened. My mother pressed a hand to her mouth. You sabotaged your sister's wedding, my father said slowly. Because you were jealous. She was going to ruin everything. Bella shot back, her voice rising, desperate. She was going to show up and make it about her. She always tries to take what's mine. I never wanted what was yours, I said quietly. I just wanted you to let me exist. Bella's face twisted. You're pathetic. You always have been. Running off to marry some nobody because no one here wanted you. That's enough, my mother said sharply. But the damage was done. The front door opened. Preston Sterling walked in, his coat dusted with snow, his expression cheerful until he saw the room. The tension, the tears on my mother's face, the fury on my father's. What's going on? He asked carefully. My father turned to him. Your fiancée sabotaged her sister's wedding, destroyed invitations, set up email filters. She made sure none of us knew Caroline was getting married because she couldn't stand the idea of her sister having something good. Preston looked at Bella. Is that true? Bella's mouth opened, closed, no sound came out. Preston's face hardened. Answer me. It wasn't like that, Bella stammered. It was a mistake. I was confused. You lied, Preston said flatly. You manipulated your own family. Preston, please, no. He stepped back, pulling the ring box from his pocket. He set it on the coffee table with a sharp click. We're done. Bella lunged toward him, grabbing his arm. You can't leave me. You love me. We're getting married. I don't know who you are, Preston said, shaking her off. And I don't marry people I can't trust. He walked out. The door closed behind him with a finality that echoed through the house. Bella collapsed onto the sofa sobbing. My mother reached for her, but Bella shoved her away. My father's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen, and his face went gray. Harrison Sterling just canceled the merger. What? My mother gasped. He said he can't do business with a family that lacks integrity. My father looked at me, then at Bella, his expression hollow. This was supposed to be the biggest deal of my career. Maybe you should have cared more about your daughters than your deals, I said. My father's eyes went cold. Get out. I'm already gone. I stood, picking up the book they'd given me. How to Find Happiness When You Die Alone. I walked over to Bella and set it in her lap. You'll need this more than I will. She looked up at me, mascara running, her face a mess of rage and grief. I ruin you. I'll tell everyone what you did. I didn't do anything, you did. And I have the evidence to prove it. I leaned down, my voice soft but steady. Also, tampering with someone's mail is a federal crime. So is unauthorized access to someone's email account. If you come after me, I'll press charges. Her face went slack. She had nothing left to say. I turned to my mother. You asked when my turn would come. It already came. 8 months ago. You just didn't care enough to notice. My mother's eyes filled with tears, but I didn't wait to see them fall. I walked out of that house, through the glowing doorway, past the perfect tree and the perfect decorations. I walked into the cold night air and felt lighter than I had in years. My phone buzzed. A text from Nate. How'd it go? I smiled, typing back. I'm free. He was waiting at the end of the driveway, leaning against his car, his hands in his pockets. When he saw me, his face broke into a grin. I ran to him, and he caught me, lifting me off my feet. You okay? He asked, his voice warm against my ear. Better than okay. We drove back to Portland that night. Nate's family was waiting when we got home. His mother had made hot chocolate. His father had the fireplace going. His sister hugged me like I was worth hugging. And for the first time in my life, I understood what it felt like to be wanted. The next morning, I found an envelope slipped under our door. Inside was a check from my father, $50,000. A note attached. To help you start over. Let's move past this. I stared at the check for a long time. Then I fed it into the shredder. I didn't need their money. I didn't need their approval. I had something better. I had a life I'd built myself. I opened my phone and found the family group chat. 28 years of messages. Birthday reminders. Bella's engagement photos. My mother's charity event invitations. I scrolled to the bottom and typed one sentence. I'm done. Don't contact me again. Then I left the chat. Blocked their numbers. Deleted their emails. I erased them the way they'd tried to erase me. That Christmas, Nate and I hosted dinner at our house. His family came. My best friend from college. A few coworkers who'd become real friends. We ate too much, laughed too loud, played charades until midnight, and when I looked around the table, I realized something. I'd spent 28 years trying to earn a place in a family that didn't want me. Now I had a family that chose me, that saw me, that loved me without conditions or competitions. I didn't need the Montgomerys anymore. I didn't need their estate or their expectations or their cruelty disguised as concern. I'd built something better, something real. I was finally home. Months later, I heard through mutual acquaintances that Bella never recovered. Preston didn't come back. The Sterling deal stayed dead. My father's company took a hit. My mother stopped hosting her charity events. The family fractured, and I wasn't there to hold it together anymore. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel triumphant. I just felt free, because the truth is, you don't know your family your suffering. You don't owe them your silence. And you don't owe them a place in your life just because they share your blood. I'm Caroline Vance now. I'm an architect. I design spaces where people feel safe and seen. I'm married to a man who thinks I'm extraordinary. I have a family that celebrates me instead of tolerating me. And I did it all without them. My sister's wedding never happened. Mine did, and that's the only story that matters.